A judge has dismissed altogether the $400 million defamation lawsuit filed by director Justin Baldoni against Hollywood power couple Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. The backstory: Lively had initially filed a civil lawsuit against Baldoni, claiming that while working on the film It Ends With Us, Baldoni sexually harassed her. She claims that when she spoke up, Baldoni's team, in retaliation, orchestrated a smear campaign to ruin her reputation. Baldoni denied all of her claims and later filed this defamation suit, which was just dismissed today. And with me now is the attorney representing Blake Lively, Mike Gottlieb. And Mike, we should just, if people think you look familiar, it's because you were here talking about, you were representing Ruby Freeman and Shaye Moss, the two Georgia election workers that were suing Rudy Giuliani, just if anybody's wondering. How did this guy's face look familiar? So how did Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds react to hearing that the defamation suit against her and her husband has just been dismissed?
It's a day of vindication, Jake, and thanks for having me, by the way. They're vindicated. They are gratified. They are grateful to the individuals and organizations that have stood by Ms. Lively as she's pursued these claims, and they are determined. Ms. Lively is determined to see her claims through, which are not dismissed, and will go on to a trial that's set for next year. But she's determined to see her claims through and to pursue them, to have a full public accountability of what she has alleged happened to her.
And one of the things that's so fascinating and also disturbing about this case is how much the internet it plays a role with people trying to get out information to smear. And there was a very orchestrated campaign to smear Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds to a lesser extent. What was that like? What was it like going through that as her attorney?
Yeah, the complaint that Ms. Lively filed alleges that a retaliatory campaign was launched against her back around the time that the movie was released in August of 2024. That campaign was sort of written out in a planning document of exactly the kinds of activities and stories that would be planted about Ms. Lively, to accuse her of weaponizing feminism, to accuse her of exploiting people, all designed to discredit her, to silence her. It was a campaign that really took a toll on Ms. Lively and a number of other individuals that were really roped into this and harmed by this campaign.
Well, let's talk about that, because the toll I want to talk about is taken on Blake and her family. It created headlines when Baldoni's now dismissed lawsuit brought up Blake Lively's friend Taylor Swift. Swift was subpoenaed when text exchanges between Baldoni and Lively were revealed to include the name Taylor. Swift's representative says she was not involved in the movie in any way beyond licensing one song for the film. And at the time, you slammed Baldoni's team for bringing Taylor Swift into this. How did that impact your client?
Yeah, you know, Jake, it's no accident that they brought her into this. The scenario planning document I mentioned from August of 2024 mentions one of the things they planned to do was to plant stories discussing the weaponization of feminism, including how people in Blake Lively's circle, specifically Taylor Swift, have been accused of weaponizing feminism to bully people. This was the plan from long before there was a lawsuit, to bring Taylor Swift into this, to accuse them both together of weaponizing feminism. So it was no surprise that they tried to bring her into this lawsuit. She has nothing to do with the claims or defenses in this case, and I don't think the court is going to allow the actual claims in this case to be distracted by this or anything else.
So the judge, when dismissing the lawsuit, Baldoni's lawsuit today, he did not address the merits of his complaints. He rather just said that Blake Lively did not make any potentially defamatory comments other than those in her Civil Rights Department complaint, which are covered by privilege. The judge ruled that Baldoni can file an amended complaint on allegations relating to interference with contract. Do you think he will?
He may. He can't file an amended complaint against all of the defendants that they sued. So, for example, the New York Times has been dismissed. Ms. Lively's publicist, Leslie Sloan, has been dismissed. They don't have claims that they can amend with respect to those defendants. They may try to file an amended complaint with respect to what I would describe as sort of ancillary or side claims in the case, but the core of the claim, the $400 million defamation and false light claim, is gone from the case. Our claims will continue and go on through discovery and trial.
Are you representing her in her suit coming up in March?
Yes, it's part of the same consolidated case in front of the court in New York.
And remind us again, what is that? What is she suing?
She sued for sexual harassment and retaliation, as well as a number of other claims, and that is really about what happened to Ms. Lively on the set, which was harassment that she experienced, that she reported privately, she attempted to address and did address through protections for herself and others on the set, and then in response was retaliated against with this campaign that we talked about a little bit earlier.
Is there a lesson for Hollywood in any of this, in any of what happened?
I think that today is a message that these kinds of retaliatory lawsuits that are really designed to silence and punish people who speak up won't work. They are not going to work. They won't be tolerated by our justice system, and they will not be successful. And I think that's an important message for others who want to speak up against the mistreatment that they may face in their workplaces.
All right, Michael Gottlieb, thank you so much for your time. And if Justin Baldoni wants to come on to talk about this, here is an invitation. Consider this an open invitation.